Bible's full of God using dreams to direct people. So
Yes.
why wouldn't he continue to do that? So
if he doesn't change, then he's still doing that.
exactly. I had a diagnosis of breast cancer in 2018, and then I was faced with options, I should say, of what to do about it. You go and there's a team of doctors, and basically, do you want a lumpectomy, a mastectomy? And if you get a lumpectomy, then you need radiation. If you get a mastectomy, then
you need to rebuild, reconstruct.
Yeah, all of these different options. So I just told the team, I need to pray about it. I need some time. So I said, Lord, I need a dream. Like that night, I got a dream. It was crystal clear. I woke up and I was like, I got my answer. I got my answer.
Hello, everybody. This is Bridging Realms with Melody Pash, and I'm Melody Pash. And I have a special guest today, one of my mentees who's been around for a while. This is Endrei. Welcome, Joy. Are you excited about being here?
I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. Hello.
Good. Well, I want you to just tell the audience a little bit about who you are, not so much how you got here, but just who you are, what you do for occupation, where you live, kind of that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I live in Ohio in the Cleveland area, and I've lived here all my life, other than 2 months. I was born in Indiana. And so I work in the Cleveland hospital system as an occupational therapist. And I've been doing that for 30 years. So
Wow.
It's really a blessing to be able to take care of so many people.
Yeah, no kidding. You don't look old enough to be having worked for 30 years. That's a good one. So tell us how you connected with me. How'd that even start? I know it was a long time ago because I was in Washington State at the time. So tell me how that worked out, and let's go from there.
Okay. Well, I was really searching for, I don't know, I would say to get back on track in my life with my walk with the Lord. And I found videos to be very helpful, some certain teachers. So I had found Praying Medic, and I was following him for a while, and he has these Supernatural Saturday videos. And I was watching the one on hearing God's voice. And he was describing his walk and how he had learned to hear God's voice. And he gave an example of how we as people in this day and age can hear God's voice. And he said that he was at a church in Washington State, and a special guest came in to his church, and her name was Melody Pash. And she came in and she had a prophetic gift, and she came in, and as she was ministering or talking, she started to be able to give prophetic words over the different people in the congregation. And he was amazed because he knew these people, and he knew that what you were saying was right on with the gifts that they had and the type of people that they were already, that God was definitely speaking through you. And so that intrigued him, and it intrigued me. And I was like, who is this Melody Pash? So I started
Who's this crazy woman?
So I started to investigate, and I found that you have a prophetic school, and now interpret this. And so you all had you had a Saturday once in a while.
Oh, the drop-in. The drop-in.
Where you could drop in and the prophetic students could practice giving words. And you let us know, this is practice. This is trying to develop the gifts. And if you want a free word, drop in. So I did that a couple times. And to be honest, I felt like that was really, they were right on. I felt like they definitely touched on the truths and some revelations. So
Wow.
they were right on. And so it was really interesting to hear the different ways God can try to get a direction to you, or just a encouragement, a word of encouragement. And sometimes he uses other people just to give you maybe a picture of, because I know in the prophetic, sometimes a person that's getting the word will just see a picture and they don't
Yeah.
even know what it is, but they're
Yeah.
just describing what they see. But then it means so much to the other person. And it's like, wow, I hadn't thought of it that way before, but that does make a lot of sense.
And that's such a good statement. I love that you bring that up, Joy, because, especially in the beginning, everything that I prophesied came from you can call it a image, a vision. Sometimes it's more like a movie, and I'm just describing exactly what I see.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the Holy Spirit has to interpret that. And typically he will at some point in the word. But it's really interesting, as you said, watching the way the word comes to people. And everybody has a different vernacular. Everybody has a different, I mean, they hear things differently. Their language is different. Even if we're all speaking the same language, the language is different. It's different. And so it's very interesting to see all that. And yeah, we love praying medic.
Mhm.
That was so long ago. I had forgotten. Yeah, he knew everyone in the church. I knew no one in the church.
Mhm.
And he said something about having been right on. And God, he knows everybody. He created you. He created you. So he knows everything about you. So he's not surprised by any attribute or characteristic that is in you, that's a part of your spiritual DNA, or that's not yet been developed. It is potential because it's in you, but it's not yet been developed. And that's what the prophetic word is supposed to do, is to give you, it's not to tell a person what they already know about themselves. That's like a moot point. Like, why would you do that? That's futile. But to tell them something that only God could know, and then they feel very seen and loved. Is that the way you felt when it sort of began for you?
Yes, it really was. Um, for one example that I remember from the NIT um, prophets, I remember the word that was so simple, but it meant so much to me. And the person said, I just see a parrot. And the parrot continues to say that same phrase over and over again. I don't even really know that the person said what the phrase was, but it was a repeating type of
A
yeah,
message that
where
was
it
coming.
does. And could it be creator is wanting to let you know that you are hearing him, and he has repeated himself, and that is him. And so what you have been questioning, hearing over and over again, a thought that you thought might just be yours, it is him. So that really helped me to start hearing God's voice as well. To know
Awesome.
that
So,
just a thought
right.
over and over again,
And
yeah,
being
that's like a
in
parrot.
right, being engaged with the prophetic
Yeah.
will open us up where it's not only you're just getting messages from the prophets or the prophetic people, because God wants you to hear for yourself. So that's what you were saying. You were learning what it sounded like when he spoke, so you could actually hear him for yourself and have the confidence that it was him talking.
Absolutely. That's always the end game, is we want to build our own relationship with God
Yeah.
and help others along the way as well. Because it's possible. It's like he didn't stop talking.
Oh, no.
Still
He's
talking.
never stopped talking,
That's the
right?
exciting part, is to find out how the different ways that he's talking to me. And he does care about all the little daily decisions that we have to make, and the big ones, the little ones. I think he just wants to be a part of our life much more than we would think.
Right. It's easy for us to say to ourselves or to think to ourselves, the God of the universe or the multiverse is too busy for me.
Right.
But there's such I mean, a huge part of him that is so in love, passionately in love with each of us. And he's so big that each of us can be his favorite. I love that.
That's amazing. That's an
That's how
amazing
big he
thought.
is. So you're his favorite,
Mhm.
and he wants to be a part of your life because he is a part of your life. So we
I love
tend to negate that by saying, oh, I'm doing the mundane. I've got to run errands today. I've got to do that. I've got to, and we don't understand that he and the angelic, they're they're all involved. They're
Yes.
all involved with you, and in every day and every moment and every episode of your life, all the different adventures. And it is really, it's hard sometimes for humans to wrap their minds around that.
Mhm.
I get it, because you think, well, David said, who am I?
Right.
Who is man that you would consider or give any thought to us? Well, we're his offspring and we're his favorite because we're his children. And he loves us
Yes.
so intensely and so passionately.
We're his creation, and we're all unique. So that's even more special when you make anything, even if it's not that special to you, or that in maybe it's the quality might not be compared to some others. It's very special to you because you made it. So how much
Yeah,
more are we special to God, who knows what's in us? He knows
absolutely.
so much better.
What a great point. Yeah. Yeah. His
I mean, I
creation.
have my mom saved everything, every artwork, everything that we ever made.
Mhm.
And it's so special that if it's special to her, it's,
Oh,
you would
yeah.
think it should be special to us too. But it
Well,
also
as you
reflects,
said, it's a part of you, it's an
yeah,
expression of you. So it means something to you, but isn't it precious that it means something to others who love you as well?
right. So how much more are we precious to God, our
Yeah.
creator? Yeah.
Which
And
his word says that everything that concerns us concerns him.
yes,
Everything.
it's
So
amazing.
every aspect.
Amazing thought.
Yeah. Every aspect. So you started out with the drop in, which, yes, was an outreach where we gave the students opportunity to minister, because if you want people to operate in their giftings, you need to activate them in the gifts, right? You can't just give them lots of, as my grandfather would say, book learning. You've got to allow them to actually operate and to refine the gifts. And the word talks about how we refine our discernment by reason of use. Well, that's the same as practice.
Mhm.
That's a description of practice. Well, if it works for discernment, it should work for any other spiritual gift that's in us as well. So
Absolutely.
you started with the mentoring, then after you heard some people prophesy to you. So you went into the mentoring. Is
So
that the way it worked?
Yeah, so after I did a couple drop-ins, I participated. I said, "Okay, I'm feeling okay," because we do need to use wisdom when we
Sure.
start to get involved with any group or organization. So I felt like let's take another step, and I requested a personal word from you.
Okay.
So I went on your website and I found how I could do that. And I asked you a couple pertinent questions. I basically felt that there, obviously, God was talking to me like the parrot. So I was sensing that some major shifts or decisions needed to be made in my life, some major changes. And so I posed a couple questions to you, to God, with the word. And when I got the response, I felt like it was confirmation. And it wasn't like you specifically answered the specific prop problems that I was having, or the very specific um, you didn't come out and say this is what you should do, but the way that God responded let me know that yes, it is time for this change to take place.
So
And it was
you,
a major change for me. When it involves a move, that's a major change after 25 years of being pretty much in
yeah.
one place. So, but I knew that that was confirmation.
Okay. So you understood what God was saying, even though I didn't,
Correct.
right? And
Mhm,
that is the way God works. It's
mhm,
not my job to counsel. I'm not a counselor. I'm
mhm,
not interested in counseling. I'm interested in making sure that your inclination is toward the Father so you can understand what he's saying. And
mhm,
it's kind of funny because sometimes a prophetic word is a little bit of an enigma. It
mhm,
can be a little bit of an enigma. And I remember having prophetic words myself and kind of asking the Lord, okay, what's that about?
mhm,
That's crazy. Somebody gave me a prophetic word. Actually, I've had this word several times now over the years, which is very funny. Um, that I was a form of or a sort of Mary Poppins, that I sort of pop in with my little umbrella where I'm needed, where the Lord wants me, so that I can open people's minds,
mhm.
where then the Spirit of the Lord can open their hearts to what He's trying to say to them about their purpose and about their lives. So, but when I first got that word, I was like, excuse me, I was like, really? Mary
Mhm,
Poppins? Okay. That had never crossed my mind. But after I got to looking at who she was
mhm,
and the way she operated, it made sense. Just like the medicine, a spoonful of sugar is going to help the medicine go down. Well, when we give prophetic words, part of what is learned in the school is that if you have a gentle spirit and a loving tone, which is from God's heart,
mhm.
then the recipient can handle anything that God is giving them. But you, of course, as the deliverer, the messenger, we don't necessarily know how critical those words are. And sometimes there are words with correction in them, not so much rebuke or reproach, because that's not really God, but correction, that is God, because he disciplines those that he loves. And the reason is to cause us to be free, right?
Yes.
It's that Luke 4:18. He wants to set the captives free, open the eyes of the blind, and bind up the brokenhearted. And that's so much. I mean, if you were going to boil down his message in a pot and see what you got, that Luke 4:18 would be it. That's why he says, I am love.
Yes. Yes. I love that. And we know the Bible verse, we shall know the truth, and the truth shall make us free, which
Yes.
said that's the goal of everything that God did for us and continues to want to do for us. And that word, I came to realize that the word truth in the Greek, the original meaning is reality. So
Yeah.
if we shall know the reality, he wants us to know the reality of a situation. And when he can first show us the reality, then that can lead us to the freedom part. And
Right. And the truth and facts are not the same.
correct. That's right. That's right.
Just because the doctor sees a specific diagnosis based upon his or prognosis based upon his or her training does not mean that that's the truth about that person's life, because truth is connected to your true DNA, to your spiritual DNA, and what creator basically made for you, your journey, in other words, right?
That's right. But it gives you a point to know how to pray or how to believe,
Yes.
what to stand on. So
Yeah.
that's
Those diagnoses are for a purpose, absolutely,
mhm.
but not a death sentence, right?
Right, right. Exactly. Exactly. Um it's just, that's what I was talking about, the daily walk. God just wants to be a part of our daily walk,
Yeah,
whatever those decisions are, whatever the diagnosis is, then we just know that that's something, maybe because we're not going to be ignorant that there's not a problem, and
sure.
let's just see what we need to do with it. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's foolishness. Let's not be foolish.
yeah.
And the Lord uses doctors. I mean, He uses doctors all the time. And I had a dream one time before I went to a chiropractor. It was so funny. And this was a chiropractor that was in, I think it was in Atlanta. So I had never been there before. This was my first appointment, and he was a recommendation. And I went in, and he was working. I was face down. He was working on my neck and upper back. And I said, "Doc, what is a foramina magnum?" And he said, "You know about the foramina magnum?" And I said, "Well, I had a dream last night, and
Wow.
I heard foramina magnum." And he's
That's very
like,
specific.
"Well, that is, I know, very, very interesting, because what I'm working on is your atlas. And the foramina magnum is actually the portal, it's a portal,
Mhm.
which your spine, right, connects to your brain
Yeah.
stem, right? Where your neck goes through and it connects to your brain stem. Well,
Mhm.
he was like, "Do you know what that means in the Latin?" Because I asked him, I was like, "What exactly is that?" He was like, "Well, there are many interpretations, but it is a door. And much of the Latin, if you go in deep, it's actually doorway to God." And I
Oh
was like,
my gosh.
"Wait, what?"
That
It's
is
the
so
doorway to
cool.
God. The foramina magnum is the doorway to God. And the medical field knows this,
Ah,
because it's where your spinal cord and all of that electricity goes into and connects to your brainstem, which
yes.
is the computer, the part
Wow.
of you that thinks, right? And
Wow.
the spirit uses all of that. So it was just so interesting to me. And he was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm working on." I was like, "Well, there you go."
Wow. And you got that from a dream the night before, and you're not
Yeah,
a medical person.
no.
You
I mean,
wouldn't
I
have
used to be in the
known,
medical field, but I was a
but
phlebotomist. I didn't know anything about the structure, the skeletal
yeah,
structure. Mm-mm.
that's amazing. I love that.
Is that
That is
not
so
just, I mean,
cool.
that is so God, because
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up. There's no way to make this goofy stuff up and something comes up and you're like, I mean, I had a dream one time, and because you've had lots of dreams, but I had a dream one time about this woman who was driving across in a gray Honda no, Accord, the bigger one, across the George Washington Bridge in New York City.
Okay.
And I had this dream, and I could see her face. It was a beautiful African American woman.
Mm-hmm.
And about 8 years later, I took a team to New York City to pray over Ground Zero
Mm-hmm.
from 9/11. So this would have been in 2010 because we were there on 10/10/10.
Okay.
And that's when we prayed over the land because there was a proposal to, as you guys may remember, to build a mosque on that property.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lord said, "You're going to Ground Zero." So we get there, and I am introduced to this woman who's a friend of one of my team, and it's the woman who
Whoa.
was driving across George Washington Bridge, and she lived in the Virginia area, and she was very connected to DC. And the Lord had her praying over the government. This was this was 2010. It was years ago.
Yes.
And I was this was before we started doing any sort of terraforming or land work I understood land assignments because we were there in New York, but it was bizarre. And she wound up joining our team and going down with us to pray over the land. It was amazing. But the Lord confirmed that she was, because, we were very covert.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, at that time, there were guards on the property where you couldn't do much. And if you did anything that looked strange, they were going to ask you what you were doing. So they had all these guards and all these people watching the land. And we show up, and she has a high level of authority in government, and we had authority in the spiritual realm, and the Lord just put us together. But I knew she could be trusted because I had seen her come in, and the Lord had given me a prophetic word over her when I saw her driving across George Washington Bridge. And she said, "I used to live in upstate New York and work in New York City, and I drove over the George Washington Bridge every day."
Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
I cannot make this stuff up.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't. And that's so precious that God uses dreams.
I know, and you are a dreamer. I mean, you get all kinds of stuff in your dreams.
Yes. And that's one thing. After I got that word from you that I signed up, then I decided to sign up for the monthly mentorship sessions.
Okay.
And then that's at those sessions, that's when we were able to actually interact. And then I realized that the dreams that I was having was a major way that God was speaking to me. Because when you would ask me, what did you dream? And when you were helping me to process those dreams, I was amazed how pertinent these apps to me. I thought they were just abstract, strange dreams, that they were really pertinent to the decisions I was going to make or the situations I was in, to give me another picture of what's really going on and what I needed to do. And then you get strategy of, you can declare into your dreams.
Yes.
You can pray and intercede and just there's just many different directions. It's not just for entertainment, I guess I would
Right.
say. I don't think it's just that, but sometimes God, of course, wants to just communicate how much he loves you, and those kind of things. Dreams can happen, but
Yeah,
usually
and sometimes he's just funny. But
yeah,
you have not only a lot of dreams, Joy, that are um, very strategic to you and your life, but you also have corporate dreams as well, which are dreams that relate to you and
mhm,
may also relate to the body of Christ at the same time. And you've had many of those, which I've shared with our team. And Michael, our sweet moderator, thank you, Michael, for being here.
you, Michael.
She has similar dreams, very corporate dreams. And in our intercession, there's a prayer group where we intercede. It started out in 2019 for the nation, but now it's really just for the globe and for other things. God's doing other things as well. But all of those dreams turn out to be extremely, extremely strategic. And it's so amazing how we can look at it and go, I don't see how that relates to my life. And sometimes it's not about you.
That's right. That it is so true. I think that one of the biggest revelations I had, besides um, just interpreting the dreams and that they mean something, was that God actually can give you these messages corporately for the church to help to get that picture of how maybe the condition of the church,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
and how we need to pray.
And
So,
some of those are warnings as well.
yeah.
Sometimes it's not just a confirmation of something. It's like you, the watchman, need to be on this.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I would say that my father, I know, had pertinent dreams. He had shared a couple that he really felt God um, was in on the dream, and I think that he probably didn't know how much God was speaking to him through his dreams, but the couple that he did know, he did share. And so I know that my dad was a dreamer, and I just felt like um, that we do get spiritual gifts passed down to
Oh,
us.
absolutely. That's the
And
way it works.
and I guess I just wanted to develop this more than I think my dad did. I think if you it's like anything in life. If you spend time and develop your
Yeah.
gifts, it's going to continue to grow.
It's also
And
going to
sure,
serve you. It's also going to serve you. That's what the gifts are for.
yes, that's right. That's good. So, and then I can see that being passed on as well to my daughter. So I think that I encourage that. So when I see that in my daughter, I encourage that gift. And I think, I, I mean, she's also now a mentor of yours. So
Yeah, it's
I'll
interesting.
just throw that out too.
Right. It's interesting because I have a couple of mother-daughter teams. Of course,
Mhm.
they're separate. The sessions are separate, but interesting. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Sessions are separate. It's all confidential.
Yeah,
Um,
we
but
don't talk about that stuff.
no, yeah, we just, I just wanted to introduce her to you too, because I just love the practical way that you help us develop our gifts for ourselves,
Oh,
our families, and
thank you.
the nations in the world, because it ends up being bigger than you ever thought.
Mm,
So, like, God is going to use every little every person to help his agenda, or
yeah,
his
his
plan,
plans.
his
Yeah,
plan.
absolutely.
And they're always good. And so every single person doing their part and understanding that, each and every one of us is so important is just an amazing thought that he would include us, and
Yeah.
he cares so much.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
So, so how has the mentoring affected your life in a personal way? Where has there been any change? What has changed in you other than, yes, you've started to develop your dream life and
Mm.
interpretation and your giftings, but how else has that really affected you in a very personal way?
Well, I certainly did make the move that um, I was thinking the Lord was leading me on. And that really helped me with my family to help take care of
Mm,
them and
okay.
be there for my parents and develop more um, family relationships. I think it
Oh,
was like a domino effect. And I
so
feel like
good.
that's how God works. You just take that one step and then you just don't know
That's
how
exactly the
many
way it
other
works.
people you're gonna affect, and it's
Yeah,
always good. I mean, he's very efficient. I feel like he's like, "If I just move this one person, how it's gonna change so many other people, and in a positive way." And for me too, I feel like, um, that move was instrumental to have the support and the encouragement to do that, but also to help me understand my identity better. I feel like that's probably what most people are lacking,
yeah.
and a big problem in our lives is not having true identity, not understanding our true identity,
Understanding. Yeah, you're right.
and to understand who God made you to be and help develop those gifts really helps you to feel more confident in whatever you're doing because you know that you know that you know that God led you there and that's who you are. And it helps you also to just stay focused on what you should stay focused on and, not maybe spread yourself too thin in areas that maybe aren't the best for you.
Well, and you bring up a good point, which is, did the Lord through all of this also teach you how to set some healthier boundaries for yourself? Because that's part of
Absolutely.
loving yourself and being in your true identity.
Absolutely. Understanding how to set healthy boundaries in relationships, that's crucial. That's a very good point. Yes.
So that's something that you gleaned from the time as well.
Yes, yes. Because through my dreams, I was getting warnings about certain individuals, and um, I it got my attention. And so I really it gave me the confidence to make the decisions I needed to make for those healthy boundaries and
Good.
know that yeah, I'm okay to distance myself
Yeah. And
from.
even you dream a lot about your work as well.
Mhm. God does use me, um my work a lot. There's times that I will dream about different patients, not real patients.
Yeah.
Just in the dream I'm working with a patient, and He has really he has really used,
And let me
that
ask you
a lot.
this,
Sure.
because sometimes your coworkers are in your dreams, but is it about your coworkers or is it about the meaning of their names?
Yes, that's what I've come to realize, that almost everybody in my dream is not really about that person.
There
It's
you go.
usually you
That's a
investigate
big
the
point for
name.
people to understand. Thank you.
Yes. That's a very good point. You do want to investigate what the meaning of their name means, and then try to understand, tie that into the dream and what you were doing. Um, Yeah.
and also what they represent to you. I mean, is it your manager? Is it your boss? Is it somebody that you don't really have relationship with, or maybe you've had a run-in with? What do
Mhm.
they represent in the dream?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I love
Absolutely.
the way he does that. Sometimes, and we've talked about this many times, sometimes everyone in your dream is an aspect of you, isn't it?
Yes. And that was interesting to see myself. Sometimes the patient is another aspect of myself
Yeah,
that's sick, that needs help. And so when you look
so
at it
good.
that way, it's like, oh my goodness. So we need to focus on that so we can get that part of me healed up and strong again.
Yeah. And isn't he faithful to do that?
Mhm. He is, and that's how he gets your attention. And then what I value is then I have a mentor that can help me to lead me through that process because, yeah, I want to be whole. I
Yeah.
want to be whole. So I don't want any part of me to be the patient that is sick.
Yeah.
So God's just so sweet in bringing that attention to that
He
area.
really is. And I've watched you grow. I mean, God's the one who grows you up, but I've watched you really grow through the years, which it's been I think we were talking about this before we started recording. I think it's been 4.5, 5 years because I
Yeah.
was still in Tacoma at the time. And I
Yes.
moved, well, the Lord set me back in Texas, set me down back in Texas in 2021. So,
So at least 5 years then, because you
yep,
were in Washington when you started mentoring me. So
yeah,
yeah. So maybe it was 2020. I do remember um, COVID, like
yeah.
probably around the time that I was on the drop-ins. It was the COVID time, I think,
Was it?
because everybody was trying to do things online at that time. So
Yeah,
as much as we could, trying to stay connected. So,
yeah,
can I
yeah,
share a dream that I just thought of?
absolutely.
I think this ties into what you were just saying. I had a diagnosis of breast cancer in 2018. And then I was faced with all the options, I should say, of
Mhm.
what to do about it. And, there was, you go and there's a team of doctors and there's basically, do you want a lumpectomy, a mastectomy? And if you get a lumpectomy, then you need radiation. If you get a mastectomy, then
You need to rebuild, reconstruct.
yeah, all of these different options. So I just told the team, I need to pray about it. I need some time. So I said, Lord, I need a dream. Now, at that time, I didn't know so much about the dreaming gift in my life. I just knew that if I dreamt something, I knew that I could not have made it up. That was my MO at that time. And that's my purpose of I know if God gives me a dream. So I said, please make it as clear as possible. Well, they gave me a time frame, and let's just say it was a week. It wasn't a long time because surgery needed to happen.
Mhm.
So it was a stage one, but it was something that needed to be operated on. And so when I got to the day that I was supposed to get back to my surgeon, I had not had a dream yet. And I was like, okay, give me another day or two because I really need a dream. So my surgeon said, okay. And then, like that night, I got a dream. It was crystal clear to me. So the dream was I was at work and I was at a counter. I saw one of my nurse friends who had been there a long time. She was very good. She was an excellent, experienced nurse. And she had her head down and she was just doing her work at the desk. And I came up to her and I was telling her that I had breast cancer and these are all the options that they have for me and I have to make a choice. So she had her head down. She looks up at me and says, "I would get the mastectomy." And she walks off. And I was like, I woke up and I was like, I got my answer. I got my answer. I called up my surgeon. I was confident in that decision. I didn't hesitate. I didn't look back. That dream was from God. And I was so glad now, several years later, I still feel like that was the best decision for me.
How precious.
So, yeah.
I'll tell you, dreams are such, I think the Lord really loves speaking through dreams.
Yeah.
He
And I
really
love it
loves
too.
them,
So exciting. You never
right?
know what it's gonna be next. You never know.
And I
And
need him to be that clear because
yeah.
sometimes I'm just like, I have no idea. Like you were. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I need some sort of direction. And almost all of my direction comes through dreams.
Hmm. Yeah, I really value it. And I think it's like anything, if you put time into it, value it, write it down. I
Yeah.
I do
Develop that
voice.
gift.
Hmm. And I write it down. It's then he's like, "Oh yeah, they're interested. I'll give you more." And then you can realize that you can now start interceding for a bigger circle of people as well. And that's very exciting to know that God cares about you for your specific situation, but he also cares about the world. So
Right.
it's mind
Right.
blowing.
Yeah. He's right. He's in the details.
Hmm.
Yet he's big picture. He's all of that. He has, and he stands in our present and can see our full timeline, our past and our future. And he can reach into both of those places and he can speak to us in our dreams through those timelines and those different dimensions and give very clear messages of instruction, of strategy, of correction, because he knows the whole of the story. He knows the whole journey. And
Yeah,
so he has all of the answers. And that's the beauty of dreams.
it is. It really makes it very exciting to go to sleep. And then I just pray over myself before I go to sleep because I do want to
Good
make
job.
sure that, of course, there's not any bad stuff being dropped into me when I'm dreaming as well. So, I give the enemy boundaries. And yeah, I'm off limits to the enemy, but my spirit, feel free, Lord God, to take me anywhere you want to take me while I'm
Yes.
sleeping. My body needs to sleep, but my spirit doesn't. So we're just gonna let my spirit do whatever the Lord wants it to.
Amen.
Mhm.
Amen. Yeah, yeah, your physical body needs rest. It needs rejuvenation. But
Yeah.
your spirit, it can be, you can be working with the Lord. I feel like sometimes I have nights where I am literally working with the Lord all night long. And when I wake up, I don't have details, but I know that I was working all night.
Hmm.
And I actually love those nights. I actually love sleep. I love
Hmm.
it because I'm really serious about my dreams.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. Well, I mean, the Bible's full of God using dreams to direct people. So why
Yes.
why wouldn't he continue to do that? So,
He does. That's a great point. He does. If he doesn't change, then he's still doing that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thank God for my dreams. And then it does help you to also know, like, through our mentorship, you also helped me through bloodline, cleansing my bloodline,
Okay, some
which
generational
I,
stuff.
yeah, which I think was also very pertinent because, we deal with things, maybe not everything that we deal with was a door that we opened.
Right.
Sometimes we do deal with consequences or situations based on
Sure.
our decisions, but sometimes we just have these tendencies and problems because of our ancestors'
Yeah.
decisions that have opened a door. And so we need to make, declarations and just let the enemy know that, it stops here. So
Yeah.
we're done with that. You can't
That's right.
you
It's what you
can't
said
go
earlier. You're
on
off
anymore
limits.
here. Yeah. So I really liked going through those prayers with my daughter. That was one thing we did together.
Oh,
And
awesome.
so that was really precious. And you never
Wow.
know. I mean, there's no way we as people can know what generations ago, what they were involved in.
Oh, yeah.
So we just
There's
want
no
to,
way.
yeah.
And we know that anywhere in the world, typically there's going to be some aspect with the Masonic. It's just
Mhm.
it's so prevalent. It doesn't matter where you're from or what your ethnicity is. It's just so prevalent. So let me ask you this: since you brought your daughter up, um, do you guys either or both of you, because we record all of the sessions. Do you
Mhm.
guys ever go back and listen back through those? Is that beneficial at all? Is there anything there that is useful after the session?
Yes, I know I do. I don't know if my daughter does, but I do, and that's very nice that you send us a recording of the session. First of all, I value that. I listen to it again, um, and if I've had a dream, which I've already written down in my prayer journal, then in red, I'm usually writing down what you were saying God was saying about the dream. So it's wonderful to look back and get all of, even in the last year or so, if I look back on those readings, not readings, mentorship sessions, and there's so much more than what the dream meant. So, yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
do. I really like having that. And then you have it forever. I just listen to it sometimes on my way to work. Um, and I will tell you every single session, I feel encouraged. I feel like there was something that inspired me. There was something that
Oh,
has helped me to keep going because sometimes we need that. I feel like
yeah,
a little jump start once a month, twice a month,
yeah.
really just to kind of keep us on track because there's just so many distractions out there in life, and I,
Sometimes does it feel like it's just a partnership and accountability as well? Just kind of a,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a good way to put it, and I look at you as a more seasoned, mature Christian, and really just a sister in Christ, just a friend too,
yeah,
where you will say what needs to be said in love. And I've never had any problem with if I knew I was getting maybe correction, but I didn't really look at it that way. I just felt like you were just being honest. Um, but the way that it's your delivery that I can say is it makes it more palatable. So it goes back to the Mary Poppins
Okay.
analogy, which I think is really a cool way to see yourself, to come in and
Wow.
be able to help kind of the way I see your gift, one of your gifts is that you can focus on more what needs to be focused on.
Oh,
Like
wow.
you have a really natural way to like you have I could just go on for let's just say 10 minutes on a subject, but for you to be able to know the pertinent topic that we need to deal with first
Mm.
is great, and then everything else is gonna fall in place. And so that's
Wow.
for sure God.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely God.
Yeah, and so I value all the experiences you've already had, and
Oh,
I
thank
mean, I
you.
know ultimately it's always my own decision, but I don't I have learned that I just want I'm sorry, my dog is barking.
The little guardian is guarding.
Yeah. That's one of her problems is she's barky, but she's a little dog, but she's barky. And but yeah, I really I strive to prevent problems. So if I can make
Yeah.
the right decision early on, that would be the best way to go about things for me.
And the other thing that you're really good at is you're okay with learning from someone else's experience.
Mhm.
And that's wisdom. Not everybody can do that, Joy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That's wisdom,
I
though. If you can save yourself the pain
yes.
and the frustration.
Yes, yes. I do value wisdom, so I value our sessions so much. I
Well,
always
and we have become very close friends, very good friends.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
which happens over the years. I mean,
yes.
yeah,
Well, it's so
it's
nice to know that you actually care about me as an individual. That doesn't always happen, I'm sure. So in
we
those
hope
types
so.
of I mean, we would hope so, but it might not always be to that extent, when you have so many
Well, we
clients.
have, but we also have mentoring retreats where we come
Mhm,
together in the natural and we're able to gather in that way, which helps a lot as well. And with the directors, because you know my directors,
mhm.
you don't just know me, you know my team.
Yes, that's right. And you, from the beginning, you always included your team. Everybody is honestly so gifted yet so humble, and I just haven't seen that combination very often. So I think that's what also attracted me. Is like
Well, and I think that
really just
that
cares
we
about
keep
each
each
other.
other humble.
Mhm, mhm. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
the retreats are valuable. There's something about when you're physically with each
Yes.
other, it's a different experience, so
It
it's
is a
really nice.
completely different dynamic, isn't it?
Mhm,
Yeah, and there's something so rich in being together and sewing into one another and meeting your sisters. It's a big deal. That's a
it
very big
is.
deal.
It is.
We
It
love that. That's our favorite thing.
and to find other people that are like-minded, like, for instance, many of us not dreaming isn't the only way that God
Yeah.
speaks to us, but many of us are dreamers, and to find out each other's dreams too are really cool. And just to find out that there's so many people that really in this ministry really are trying to learn about themselves and the Lord and really want to be used and develop the gifts. So it's just refreshing to see some of the younger ones too.
I know.
Really intrigued, like this is cool, and God is showing me stuff. So
Right? Those little Joeys, they're really coming along. They
yeah,
are coming along, and everybody grows so quickly,
yeah,
so
because
quickly.
I was older than some of the younger ones now, and I think, gosh, if I had started younger,
Yeah,
how would my life be different maybe by now? But God is, I think He has a really good way of getting you back on track. So,
absolutely. Well, this has been such a good conversation. I so
yes.
love and honor you and appreciate
Mhm.
you being here and spending the time with me. That's so kind of you.
Well, thank you for having me. It has been my pleasure. And I just really value our sessions and this ministry.
Thank you for sharing. We love you so much, Joy. Thank you guys for being here. I hope that you will like, share, and subscribe if you were so inclined, but we will talk to you next time.
Bye bye.